They say that we only live once. I don't believe that is true, as we become different people depending on what we go through. From the day that we arrive on Earth, we grow, develop, and change. So how can we remain as one when nothing stays the same? Some people are enchanted by babies, seeing magic in all that they do. Of course, you also lived as a baby, but that's no longer you. Yesterday's you has gone away, but do not mourn for them. For you are all that you can be today, and tomorrow's not the same. I have really been enjoying borrowing a bit of poetry for my introductions lately, and I chose this piece because, as usual, it felt very relatable to my current headspace. See, I am making some big changes in life at the moment, and one of those is around my gear and my goals for my work. I want my work to be more cinematic. I love my drive for constant improvement and love to embrace a change and challenge. I've reached a point with my video production where I now feel like creating my own style and look. I want to start creating great content, memorable content that looks, I'm sorry to say, more cinematic. And a part of that change is going to be in a shift towards using cine lenses. I'm not going to talk about the differences between photo and cine lenses, as I feel there is a large amount of good info out there on that already, but instead I'd like to document my process on making that change and how it affects my work. And as always, when I issue myself a bit of a challenge, I'll also set myself some guidelines to follow. For this, it will be to use manual focus cine lenses as often as I can, but never at the expense of the job. I love being outside of my comfort zone with work, as I feel this is when I learn the most. But I also have enough confidence to stop myself when something isn't working or when another tool would be better for the job. What I love about a new challenge is it causes me to find love in some of the simpler forms of image capturing. Projects or experiences that have become very comfortable to me are suddenly exciting and rewarding again when there is a new challenge in doing so. But I guess a good question to ask is why? When autofocus is so good, why would I want to give that up? And for me, that came from helping someone over the phone who was talking about their goals for the future and what do they want that to look like. And if you ask yourself this question, I can't help but imagine most of you think of something you look up to, something that has inspired you. It could be in a completely different industry, but for every single one of us, I hope there is something out there in the universe that makes you think, shit, that would be cool. And for me, that goal is to get closer and closer to cinema grade work. And I'd love to get to the point where I am in turn inspiring those who come after me. But for now, I am chasing those who have done it before me, those who have already walked the path. And those I look up to use manual focus cine lenses. And I can see its advantages. For the same reason that I never trust auto exposure settings are the same reasons I want to trust good manual focus procedures. The more I learn about focus breathing, flares and lens character, the more they scream out to me. Worst of all though, I'm not 100% sure this is the best course of action. See, I am a solo content creator, and a vast majority of the world suggests that cine lenses are mostly for those who are a part of a crew. I do not have a focus puller to make this transition easy for me, but I have acquired a taste for work that I think can only be achieved with a different style of shooting. But more importantly, the more I learn about emotion and not just telling a story, but leaving people inspired and with a feeling to create, to make a difference, to make change, the more drive I gain to do so. This series will involve reviews as I try to get my hands on different gear to use, but I hope to also share tips and experiences I learn along the way that have or have not worked for me. Kind of like a diary, or I hate to say it, a vlog of my change from videography to cinematography. But best of all, I have an end goal in mind. I want to create more adventure-related content around other photographers. This is the reason I transitioned from photography to videography. I didn't expect to love it as much as I do, but as a photographer, I always struggled to share the stories of my work. I found if I started putting energy and time into the story of the image, it took away from the amount of energy and time I could put into capturing the image. and I am very sure I will not be the only photographer with this struggle, and I hope for this series to end with me easing that struggle for others. I'd like to share what skills I've been working on, researching, and maybe even what other content I've found to help me take my content from what you're watching now to what the series will hopefully end with. This is merely another step, and I hope you'll enjoy this journey with me. If you have any questions or fears about making a change in the nature of your work, please reach out, as I'd love to make this process easier for you than it might end up being for me.